Welcome back to the Perfect Convo, where we talk everything from relationships to real life, all things in between. Bree and Ari couldn't be here today, so I'm the fill-in host, Shay, and we have a very special guest, Alicia. We always start off with a question just to get the wheels turning for our viewers. Last week we was talking about embarrassing relationship moments, but this week we getting a little deeper and we're gonna talk about securing a bag. I want to ask y'all a question. What is one job that y'all refuse to work ever again in life? And me and Alicia we gonna answer this question too, because I think I got a few. But Alicia, what's one job that you absolutely refuse to transition back to or double back to, no matter the situation?
Yeah. For me, I think it's going to be retail. I never did. So I don't have a lot to really compare to. Other than retail, I did retail while I was in high school, fresh out of high school for many, many years. And people just be inconsiderate, trifling. Like I've seen some very ratchet, nasty things working in retail.
Okay.
So I don't think I can go back to retail.
Okay. I think
How about you?
I'm the friend that had all the jobs. There's so many jobs I would never go back to. I think probably the main one would be fast food. Like fast food. I love the service industry, but it's the fast food industry that I just cannot do anymore.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna leave that to the high schoolers, the ones fresh out of school. We're gonna leave that to them, and the retail therapy associates. We gonna leave the mall workers. That's for the kids.
Yes.
It's for the teenagers
They're
for
figuring
sure.
it out.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so I want the people to get to know you a little bit. So tell us a little bit about what it is you do for a living, a little bit about yourself. All right.
Yeah. Again, my name's Alicia Stokes. I'm the head of talent and compensation at the nation's largest reentry organization. So we deal with individuals coming home from incarceration, and we provide transitional employment and wraparound services to those individuals. Aside from that, I have a business called The Employment Coach, where I do resume writing and career coaching for individuals transitioning into the workforce, being a professional in the workforce, wherever I can meet you wherever you are. When you're coming in, you're looking for employment, looking to secure a bag. That's kind of what I do when it comes to workforce planning, workforce development, and talent acquisition.
Okay. So Alicia is the hiring hero. Basically, she's gonna get y'all hired. She about to give us all the tips, tricks, all the stuff we need for this season. If you're looking for a job, you are not gonna want to miss this. I got a few questions. Tell me more about wraparound services.
Yeah. So the organization that I work for is a national nonprofit. So we deal with individuals coming home from incarceration. I'm sure we all know somebody, whether it's a friend, a family member that has been impacted by incarceration. And individuals coming home from prison have a lot of obstacles and a lot of barriers that need immediate and comprehensive attention, right? And so when you think about wraparound services, you think about an individual coming home from incarceration, their first thing, if they don't have housing, if they don't have childcare, if they have substance abuse issues, mental health issues, they're not really focused on a job, right? They need to get those things squared away before they can focus on a job. And so that's what I mean when I talk about wraparound services is, do you need housing? Do you need childcare? Do you need your ID? Do you need your social security card? What are those things that you need to get you stabilized? And then we can focus on getting you a bag, right? We can focus on getting you employed. But, housing, all of those immediate needs, housing, transportation, all of those things need to be taken care of. And so that's what we focus on. In our organization, we have job coaches that work with individuals to kind of mitigate those barriers that come up and those obstacles that come up. And once we have that stabilized, then we can work on job development for them.
Okay. So I have a quick question. What does it look like as far as the time frame for somebody that's re-entering to alleviate those obstacles?
It depends. You have very hungry people that come in and they're no nonsense. They know what they want. They did many, many years and they just over it. They like, I want to come out. I want to be employed. I want to build a family, whatever it is. And then you have individuals you got to show a little bit more love and attention and care to. It kind of depends, but we like to target individuals who are fresh out, meaning within the first couple of weeks, you're coming to our organization because that limits or decreases the chances of recidivism. Once they go back to their environments, then they got people in their ear, can turn back to the things that they were doing that kind of landed them in prison. And so we have a contract with parole and probation. And so we encourage them to send the individuals to us, and then we work on getting them enrolled into the program.
Okay. I like that. I like that. So I know you probably run across a multitude of different personalities, but what's a few things that like will stand out to you in a candidate, especially around like this time of year? We know it's the holidays. We know, you know, as a job seeker, a lot of times it can be a disadvantage to wait until the holiday season to start looking for gainful employment. So around this time of year, what are you guys really looking for, and what is like a gold medal, a gold, what's the gold star that stands out in the HR department, in the talent acquisition department, that people can work on right away?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think everybody who's on the market looking for a job should go into an interview thinking of it as a mutual conversation. No interview should be just me asking you a bunch of questions and you have no questions to ask me. You haven't done any research. You don't know who you interviewing with. Like, those are all like red flags. So really doing your research, understanding the organization, its mission, its competitors, how they're performing in the industry. All of those things are important, and it takes a couple seconds to do that. Hop on their website, go to the About You, About Us section, and learn about the organization or the company that you're interviewing for. Go in prepared. I think confidence is the biggest thing. You have to know who you are. You have to know the value you bring, and that's why I say like it needs to be a mutual conversation. A lot of people tend to be like nervous, super nervous in an interview, and that's natural. Like, we all human, we gonna be nervous. But you need to address the interview as, why should I give y'all 40, 50 hours a week? Like, why should I bring all my goodness, my experience, my skill set over here, just as much as the interviewer or the employer is wanting you? Like, it needs to be a mutual conversation. Those type of interviews tend to like really impress me and my colleagues, is when someone come in extremely confident.
Okay. I like that. I like those answers. Okay. Really, really good answers. That's really good stuff.
I ain't gonna lie, I've been on a couple of interviews. I was supposed to be there at a certain time. I get there 15, 20 minutes early. I'm the one waiting. 20 minutes past. Like, come on now. Like, it's just like, if it was the flip side.
It would be a problem. Yeah. Yeah. But that goes back to you knowing your value, right? So, all of us in this market, like, I ain't gonna lie, it's an employer's market. It's not a candidate's market right now. Like, when I look, like, even me, like, hosting or running caseloads and running vacancies, I have 500 people applying to one vacancy within a day, right? So that means it's an employer's market and the ball is in the employer's court. But it kind of goes back to knowing your value. That was a really good question. It's like, do I really want to work for an organization that doesn't value my time? Because that's telling you a lot from just an interview. If they're going to not respect your time, then what is the culture like at the organization? Are you just going to work there for a couple and not be happy and then be on the market again in a couple months? So it's like looking at those red flags. That's what I mean when I say, like, it should be a mutual conversation. It should be a mutual red flag thing. Like, why should I literally bring all of my goodness, my experience, my skill set to this organization? If you're not going to respect my time, I'm jotting down notes about it.
Do you think that a lot of the employment candidates are applying to employers out of desperation. It's hard to make those decisions. It's hard to really put your foot down when you're really looking for a job. A lot of people who are interviewing are really just looking to work. And I think that a lot of times employers take advantage of the desperation in the candidate, even if they do bring a lot to the table. Even if they are really amazing employee or, have a lot of potential, is oftentimes that they take advantage because the ball is in their court. What would you say is some things that a candidate can do to kind of leverage or balance the playing field in that department?
That's a really good question. I think, times are hard right now. And if you need a job, you need a job. And maybe it's not your forever job. But while you're applying to jobs and you're just applying, because a lot of people do be shooting their shots and they be sending in resumes and I'll be like, this don't make no sense. Y'all ain't, and I'm a resume guru. Yeah, but you ain't tailor your resume. You ain't trying to do nothing. You really shooting your shot. Like you got to put some time and effort when it's literally 500 people applying to one role. If your resume not making sense, it's not even going to get in front of me at all. So you have to put some time and attention and just have a plan. Like, no, this is temporary, what I want to do now. I know ultimately in 2 years, I would like to do this. This is my career field. This is what I want to do. But when the competition is this tight and this fierce, like y'all really gonna have to, like looking for a job is a job.
So let me ask you this. Let's say somebody just so happened to, because I was in Sam's Club when I seen the chick with the what is it, the UAW? Yeah, she had that jacket on. She's like high up in there. Whatever. So if somebody knows your position, right, whether let's say you get name tag, whatever, and they approach you, let's say they already got a resume in their hand. Do you find that to be like offensive or intrusive, or do you take their resume or like?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't. I mean, people move with different intentions. Some people like, I don't want to be at work when I'm off work or whatever. But me, like, it's a tight market. It's hard out here. And so if you come into me and I got my name tag on, where I work or, I do resumes or whatever, of course, I want to help you. So, yeah, I think the biggest thing in this market, too, is networking. It's not all about applying. It's about who you know. Who's in your network that you know that could put a word into HR for you, can put a word into the talent team.
Okay, with that being said, it's also about your network. I love that you touched on that. I want to know, how do you feel? How do you feel about I'm sorry. So like,
okay.
all right, I'm gonna ask you a question first before we go into that. What's some of the craziest things that you've seen in an interview?
I've seen people come in smelling like marijuana. I've seen somebody drop a bag of marijuana in an interview. I've seen people come in pajamas. I've seen women come in with revealing clothes on. I've been in this game for a long time, so I've seen, I remember it was this one gentleman. I'm not gonna say no names of where I was working. But we ask a lot of behavioral-based questions because behavioral-based questions is based on the premise of how you acted in the past is how you gonna act if we give you this job. And so one of the questions I asked was like, tell me about a time you had a challenging coworker or something like that. And he was like, he went into this whole story about how he got in a fight with the dude in the parking lot and how he beat the employee A. And I'm just like, really?
So you mean to tell me HR looks when they're asking those questions, they're expecting you to act currently how you've behaved in the past?
So you want to use the STAR method. So I want y'all to remember this. It's called situation, task, action, result. So you want to give them a specific situation. I remember when I was working at Walmart as a cashier, we had this individual that came in who was very upset because we overcharged her for an item. What I did was I immediately apologized. I didn't take it personal. I got my manager involved. We gave her a voucher and a coupon to come back, and she's still a customer to this day. Even if it's not
100%.
true, you need to say something about how you turned the situation around. And your result needs to be a good result, not a fight.
Okay, got you. All right.
Those questions aren't just bullshit.
No,
Okay.
no, they ask those for a reason. Yeah.
Okay. And based on
Why are you asking me this? Yeah, they want to
Yeah.
predict your behavior. Like, is he a hothead? You know.
Oftentimes though, interviewees have been in the job field for years, 20 years. This could have been an incident from when they were 15 years younger. People get older, people mature, people grow, and I never expected those interview questions to be based around them anticipating that you behave the same that you have in the past.
Yeah.
I thought that it was more so to show the growth in the candidate from where they've come.
Yeah. I mean, we might ask questions like that. Like, what are your weaknesses or what areas do you feel like you need to work on? But for the most part, you need to have those questions in your back pocket. You need to have some scenarios in your back pocket because most employers, if it's a serious interview and it's a competitive job, they're going to ask you some type of behavioral based question. And so you need to have some back pocket scenarios that you can bring out.
So do you think that people should always be interviewing? Or do you think that once you find the job, then all right, you can sit back and get comfortable? Or do you think people should always be keeping their interview skills?
Absolutely.
Always be applying, always be interviewing with different companies, keeping their options open.
Yeah. I think we not in our parents' generation where we stay at a job for 30 plus years. It's just not like that no more. Like, if you find your home and you want to stay there, good. I don't think that you should be a job hopper. Like, every 6 months you hopping and applying, because that could be a red flag too. But what I do think you should do is practice interviewing with your friend, with a career coach, with somebody you trust in your network. Like, even if you're not actively looking, you need to freshen up on your skills. Like, practice. It depends. It depends on the organization. It depends on the risk. Like, if they have risk mitigation policies and practice, it kind of depends. Like, some organizations will do an intensive background check because you might be dealing with money, or you might be dealing with credit, or your personal information. So they want to do a bigger check, and they will verify your employment. If they just humping and they need to hire somebody, then maybe they didn't do that check. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of depends on the organization and their policies that they have in place.
All right. So speaking of background checks, what would you say is, oftentimes we leave our what is it called? Like, we'll be selective with what we put on the resume, depending on what field we're entering into, depending on what job we're trying to get, but it's frowned upon if you have had too many places of employment, too many jobs. But I mean, it's frowned upon if you have employment gaps too. So are people supposed to stay employed, or are people like if you leave certain stuff off that's not relevant? And then they're doing intensive background checks, it looks as if you aren't being 100% honest or transparent, but also it's frowned upon if you include all of that on. It's
like you can't win.
You cannot win with these. What is the recommendation for someone who maybe have, they maybe have not went to school for a specific industry or field, and they have had a lot of employers, but are looking to settle down into one career industry?
Yeah, I would think if there's gaps on your resumes, make your resume make sense. So a lot of times when I do resume writing too, so a lot of times if my clients come to me and they have like gaps or pauses in their career, I asked him, like, what were you doing while you were at home? Oh, I was taking care of my mama. Then you were a caretaker. So and you want to get in CNA, you want to do the hospital, then we need to capitalize on that. Let's talk about it. Like, you were self-employed to be a caretaker, or I was doing hair, or I was a babysitter. Like, that you were making money. Let's talk about it. Let's put it on your resume. And so there's ways that if they were actually doing something, we can put it on your resume to make it make sense.
All right.
Is that valid though? Because like,
If they do the intensive background check, it will not show up.
if I put such and such photography LLC, like, is that valid in their eyes? Like, I was doing freelance photography for like 2 years.
I mean, it depends on what type of job. If you're going to be you applying to a lawyer or you're applying to the hospital, then probably not. Unless you apply for the marketing company, then yeah, it makes sense. Like, he knows how to create content. Like, so your resume needs to make sense. Your resume, a lot of time people have one resume and they just apply all over the place with this one resume. You have to, that's why I say when job searching is an actual job, you have to tweak your resume to the job. And especially in a market like this, again, like I said, I've had like 500, 600 people to apply to a job in one day. There's no way humanly possible that I can go through all those resumes. Like, sometimes I do if I have time, but I'm doing keyword searches. I need it to make sense. And so,
But now, what about the whole AI?
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Like, is it true that there's no longer, like, it's a system that it funnels through before it gets to you? If that's a fact, but
I mean, we have applicant tracking systems, but I think that's a myth. It's not going to fall down a black hole and your resume doesn't evaporate and like disappear. Now, what does happen in an applicant tracking system
Filter
is
it
if
out.
I have 600 applications, I need to filter somebody who I know got
These set of skills.
case management, and I'm typing in case management, wraparound services, job coaching, job developing. And if your resume does not have that, it's not going to pop up. It's still in the system, but I'm actively recruiting for 20 jobs. I'm not going to go through 1,000 applications. I'm going to call the 10 people that popped up.
Okay. How do you feel about snitches in the workplace? How do you feel about that? Like, what do you think? Because we know people do be doing a lot when it come to going to HR, or whether it's a unionized job or not. I don't even know if that's the right word. Because we grown. Snitching in the workplace.
Yeah.
Well, just, like workplace grievances. Like, how do you feel about that?
Yeah. My HR had one. Like, I have to take everything seriously and professional when people come to me with a grievance or anything like that. But like you said, we adults. Like, some of the stuff that comes to my desk in my office, I'd be like, my daughter could have dealt with that, and she's 12. Like, really, why is this coming up? So I think there's a time and place for everything, but also, like, HR should be a safe place for people and employees. And so if there is a major grievance, they should, like, we want it to be a space where people can come. And that's HR had one, but some stuff you just need to lead to the teenagers.
Yeah. Okay. We gonna let the babies handle that one. All right. I got one more question. So we're gonna get a little messy with this one. What I wanna know, what is more a turnoff? Is it your partner going an extended period of time or off and on, randomly being unemployed, or off and on randomly getting fired from multiple jobs? What's more embarrassing and what's more of a turnoff for you?
Yeah. I think for me, I'm going to have to go with the being fired because life happens. Like, people get laid off, jobs close down. Like, if you're oftenly unemployed, like, shit happens. But if you getting fired, the common denominator is you. Like, what are you doing at work that you always being fired, you always get in trouble, you always losing your job? Like, it's a you problem, and I need you to address that. Like, that's more embarrassing to me than somebody being unemployed.
I don't know. Like, I don't think either or is embarrassing to me. I'm not even sure I can say either or is a turnoff. Like, I really, when it comes to being fired, that can happen. that could happen over just somebody having a bad day
Yeah.
at work.
Absolutely.
Or, just a personality clash. I'm learning the older I get, people have very poor conflict resolution skills,
Very
very
poor.
poor, like
Very poor.
mediation skills.
Yeah.
And it's like all of those things, like it could be a multitude of reasons why, although the employee is always the common denominator, but we know that people do abuse their power a
They
lot of
do.
times. People
They do.
push it. So, I just don't know. I'm not really embarrassed about somebody getting fired. I'm more so, turned off by somebody staying at a job that they hate.
Yeah.
And, just, I don't even mind the unemployment because
Life happens.
life happens, Yeah.
So what you gonna do, Sean? He a hand model, but he working at Ford. He working at Ford because
I am so.
the news family. But he'd rather be hand modeling with some Maybelline or whatever.
Listen, let me tell you.
And he hate his job, so you turned off because he got to provide for y'all.
No, I'm turned off because of the lack of ambition to find something that you enjoy. It's not that complicated. It's not complex. It's a clear self-evaluation of what your life looks like and what you want it to look like. And somebody who is living every day satisfied with their life looking like something that
They're not really happy with.
I'm not feeling
Yeah.
that. You're not about
But
to
it
drag me into that.
It takes people a long time to even figure out what they want to do, like their why, or like what brings me purpose, or like what doesn't feel like a job to me. Like
I
so many
agree.
people search for that. But yeah, I think that's true too.
I agree. I feel
Yeah.
like it do take people a long time to find out, what they really want to do. But I don't think that it takes people a long time to find out that they hate something or that they absolutely dislike it.
Yeah.
And I feel like it takes just as long for people to find out that they dislike something than just evaluating it and starting to starting the process to look for something that is
different.
fulfilling.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just
A lot of people be content and stuck. Yeah.
So
yeah.
you're about to have a graduate. What type of parent are you? Are you like hammering education, or are you like encouraging them to do what they feel like they want to do?
Yeah. I am not forcing education down my son. He never really liked school. Like he never been a school person, and that's fine. Me coming from going to college, and I don't even work in my degree field. Like I have a social work degree. I have 3 social work degrees. I work in human resources, and I have a ton of student loan debt. I don't want my son to carry that, and you don't even know what you want to do. And so I push, you need to do something. When you graduate, you're not just about to sit in my house, but it's trades you can go into. You can even just go out and work. You don't have to go to school if that's not for you, but you do have to be a provider.
So you're not giving him a boot right away.
Absolutely not. I
Would
think
you?
we as black people, black families, we be trying to kick our kids out too fast, and other cultures don't do that. My baby can stay at home and figure himself out, and I want him to be a provider. I want him to be able to take care of any woman that he marries, and if it takes him a couple years to figure that out, then I'm a ride for him.
So what are you like? I want to be a hand model.
Would you agree that although you don't work in your degree field, that acquiring your degrees have allowed you to more easily gain footing or traction in the field that you currently work in? It seems to me that it is more difficult for someone to obtain employment with a reputable company or organization without a degree in any field, and they wouldn't care if it was a degree in
Anything.
mopping floors.
You just need a degree. Yeah.
It's like, would you not encourage him to get, even if he didn't know what he wanted to do for a living? It seems to be easier to access success with a degree under your belt.
I think he should skill up. I think he should get some credentials and some skills, but that doesn't have to be like your traditional university. We look at vocational schools, trade schools, things like that, where he can get some skills. And we've talked about that. Like, okay, what is this job pays this? Do you think he would like this? Do you like this? Like, I give him the opportunity to kind of look into different things and kind of see what he would like. But I don't think that it needs to be a bachelor's degree or a master's. Like some fields, you do need that, right? But I've never had to show my degree. They've never asked me, and I'd be mad. Like, show? What you mean?
Have to bring it in.
What you mean? I got $60,000 in debt. What do you mean? I don't have to show this degree.
Okay.
But yeah, I think, I don't think that we should push education on our children. That's not what they want to do. You know. Yes, they should have a plan. Yes, they should figure some things out. But college is not for everybody, and I don't think it should be forced down a child's throat.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie, my kid, I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I know.
My first million? I ain't made the first million yet.
I was about to say, girl, you got $1 million?
I don't got $1 million.
Please teach me. What are you talking about?
I would. I have a plan for it. I think my background in workforce plan and staff and talent acquisition compensation makes me very, very extremely marketable. So if I could turn my business into a staffing agency, it's lucrative. Like a lot of staffing agencies are very, very lucrative. And so I don't know if it'll be like $1 million, but yeah.
I bet they is. They only paying people $10 an hour. They keeping the other $15 that they get from the company.
Yes, they
it's
do.
ridiculous how crazy they pay it.
Like, they do.
Speaking of staffing agencies, that's another one that I never
not working at it. They do. I used to work at a staffing agency. It's very sad
and
how
not
they operate.
only do they take the money, but also they treat the people that come in, the candidates, as if they don't work for the candidate, as if your job isn't directly is to get me a job.
Yeah.
It's like what is it? It's crazy. They treat the candidates like crap.
Yeah.
They underpay them. You don't get benefits. It's just absurd.
It is.
And I can only imagine the amount of money that they're
pulling
raking
in a lot of money. They
oh
pulling
my goodness.
How do you feel about the jobs that require so much who want to pay you so little? Or jobs that try to I feel like some companies be trying to get like a 2-in-1 or 3-in-1. So they'll bunch a lot of things into your job role.
Your job description.
Like for instance, okay, if I remember when I was actively looking for graphic design jobs, they want you to know HTML, basically like web design, which is those are two different things that don't even. There's very little graphic artists that know web and vice versa. But they're trying to cram it all into
one job description. Yeah.
Why that? Speaking of cramming a whole bunch of jobs into one job title for one check. Speaking of that, because it's like, I feel like most of the positions that people are hiring for, companies are hiring for today, does fall under the category of two positions. Like they do have you doing the work of two jobs, it seems as if. Oftentimes, it's blatantly there in the job description and duties that you're clearly doing more than what you should be doing for just this job title. And then they play crazy when you ask for a more competitive pay. So what is up with that? What's up with that? With the
So I'm going to tell you by HR again, put my HR hat on, behind the scenes when individuals are asking for a raise, like mid-year, I want a raise. A lot of approvals happen, a lot of budget planning. So for instance, for me, I have my budget for the year for my compensation budget. So I know what I can and can't spend. So if you come to me and you're like, I want a raise, but I already
No, it's not. I can't
no,
afford
I can't
it.
do it because
Yeah.
I have my budget plan from finance and from my CEO, then my hands are tied. And it seems like it's miscommunication or we don't value the employee. We can, like,
Where's
I'm
the
one.
lack of transparency?
It's a lack of
though?
transparency,
like-
yeah. You know, for me, in my position, I like to always advocate for employees and like really talk to their managers about growth opportunities and even seek like different approvals. But everybody don't move like that, and some people's hands are tied in the approval
Is there
process.
ever options to, like, is there ever options to go outside of that budget? Do companies ever, maybe they do have their budget for the year, maybe they have their set amount of expenses and, but okay, this is a company that, this is an employee that we want to retain. There's a hard worker.
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't want to lose Joe
Absolutely.
Blow.
Yeah.
And, how can we accommodate what it is that he's
Absolutely.
asking for? Do they oftentimes?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you are a hard worker and you are making your mark in a company and they know, like, oh, I don't want to lose Shay, like, she is a hard worker. She's great. She's been with us for 5+ years. They'll make it work. People
All
can
right,
make
we
yeah.
got down to the listen, y'all. Y'all hear that? Ask
make
for the
it work.
raise. They will
Yep.
they'll figure it out on the back end.
They'll
That's
figure
their
it out.
job, okay?
They'll figure it out.
Listen,
Looking for all of the job.
speaking of money, I want to know okay, speaking of money, Alicia, where do you stand with what do you think about people dating like people who make less than them? Are you opposed to dating somebody who make less money annually, or will that cause problems in a relationship for you?
So I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to it. If you make less than me, but you have a plan and you are a hustler and you are a provider, because the provider is more than just money, right? You can be a
Right.
provider mentally,
We were just talking about that.
So if you come in with all of that and you can provide in other areas or you hold the house down, however, some men are insecure with women who make more. And I feel like a lot of time if a man is not secure in himself and has insecurities, then that may cause tension in the relationship. I've seen that happen. Where there's just different insecurities at play. Like, my girl make more than me, I feel away, I want to make more, or just like underneath jealousy.
A lot of times, I agree. But a lot of times, would you agree that women have a hard time making people making their spouse or mate feel secure? Like, I get people do have their own insecurities, but a lot of times, how we just said, provisions don't always mean financial.
Yeah, absolutely.
But a lot of times the value of somebody's spouse or mate is oftentimes directly connected to their wallet.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate and very shallow of individuals.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, can you be mad at somebody for being insecure about something when
You constantly bringing it
their
up.
value is literally directly connected
Yeah.
to what I can do for you, what I can provide for you, or you know what I mean, like how your family views me if we take in a vacation, whatever. And maybe because they make less and the other partner makes more, maybe they not missing a beat. Maybe they still taking a family, maybe they still living a life or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's a little bit more work to make sure that your spouse still feels value outside of the traditional, hey, I protect, I provide, X, Y, and Z. Just because I just don't think that it always looks the same.
No, absolutely
You
not.
know,
I think it
so-
boils down to communication. Like, what are non-negotiable? What are we not doing in this relationship? We not degrading. We not going there. We not throwing low blows. And if we doing that, like, you know what? I don't have anything good to say. I'm going to leave and we can come back and talk about this
when
tomorrow.
we
Like,
do.
a lot of times it's a respect factor. A lot of times people just don't respect their partners.
What do you think that's based on? Like, I think oftentimes it's based on how they provide financially. Unfortunately, you can see in different relationships where, sometimes maybe the spouse don't deserve the level of respect that they get. To be real, but they get a lot of respect just because they make a lot of money, or they spend a lot of money, you know what I mean? And it's just like, what is that based on? Like, yeah, it's a respect factor, but in 2025, what are we basing how we're giving respect?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's like not attached to a lot of different things. I can't think of a lot of, if I ask 100 people, Family Feud style, like what I don't see a lot of people giving a lot of different responses on, where do that come from? Because it's often based on how somebody feels they've been treated. I got the utmost respect for this person because they did X, Y, and Z for me, or they handled me this way, or whatever, but it's often not directly connected to who somebody is.
Absolutely.
Their character, their conduct, who they show up to be. So I feel like that's just unfortunate because
it is.
It makes for murky waters.
It does.
All right. So I got another question.
So you said that you're open to dating somebody who make less than you. Like
how less? I mean, I don't really.
You open to dating somebody self-employed?
Absolutely.
I mean, ground flow.
As long as you got provision, you got a plan, and you got some, like, in this economy, let's be real. Like, most oftentimes you need 2 incomes coming in. Like, it's very hard out here now.
We're off of one of these.
But yeah, I'm all for somebody, if it's their passion, then how can I help you get there? And how can you provide in the meantime? And it may look like I'm covering 70 and you got 30. You got the utilities, I got the mortgage and the car notes. But we're a team, you know what I'm saying? So
how much are you willing to work with a person that's like, all right, you met a guy, you like a guy, and he's like, often it takes a little bit of time to figure out, maybe he say, I want to, Bree was saying she had the t-shirt business. He made 2 funky t-shirts last week, and it's like, okay, cool. Bro didn't know he didn't want to make t-shirts, bro. You feel me? Now he don't want to do. He don't even want to be in the fashion industry. Now he like, I want to open me a car wash or whatever. I don't know. You see, so it's like, how much grace do a person get? Yeah, they may have provisions to invest into their dreams or whatever, but at the end of the day, it take a little work to really get your foot in.
To get there.
So it's like, how much grace are you willing to give somebody? They already make less than you or nothing.
And now you don't want to do that.
And now you don't want to make the t-shirts no more.
What do you mean? Yeah, no. So I'm going to give grace. I'm going to keep giving grace, but I can give grace over there. Like, you got to be over there if you not coming because you don't want to do t-shirts no more. Then go get a job and work on opening a car wash business. Because at the end of the day, these bills still coming in. Like, we got bills that we still got to cover. We got kids that we still got to care for, provide for. That is not personal. That just is life. We got these bills coming in. And as my man, I need you to go do something. And I got your back. Like, we can work on the savings accounts, open a car wash, but you need to go get a job.
Okay.
But word around town is struggle penis is the best penis.
Not struggle penis.
Listen, the work got to be put in, James. That's what you got to understand.
Maybe 20-year-old Alicia.
Yeah.
But not at this big age. Like, we got ways and things.
Honestly, I don't even know how y'all make it to that point without certain factors and like sexually,
How are you even getting there? How are you horny and you broke?
And we haven't covered all the bases. You thought you just hit a home run, and that's crazy.
Like me, if my money not right, don't touch me. Like I'm focusing on hustling. Like ain't nothing working.
My mind
here.
is completely preoccupied.
Off of sex. Like I don't want to talk nothing about sex right now. We need to get these bills in order.
Yeah. It's a no-go. That's for the teenagers. They can do all the humping and bumping they want. Yeah. But baby, we chasing the bags. Yeah. All right. So let's play a game. All right. I'm going to play a game. It's called Hire or Fire.
Okay.
Because we trying to secure some jobs this season. All right. I'm going to give you a scenario, and then you tell me if the person is getting hired or fired when the app come across your desk.
Okay.
All right. They showed up late to an interview?
It kind of depends. Like, I give people grace. Can I have an in-between? Like, give grace?
Okay.
I give grace.
The in-between going to be, we pushing them to the second interview. Let somebody else.
Yeah. Like, I'll get grace.
Let's get a second opinion.
Yeah, I'm going to give somebody grace.
Okay. All right. They moving on to the second round. We'll see if they show up late a second time. Yeah. Okay. Asking about PTO before they ask about salary or the pay. I don't feel like that's a red flag.
No,
I feel like people need to value more work-life balance. Okay.
Yeah. I feel like my organization, we have pay transparency. So you know what you're being paid before you even interview us in our job postings. Like my organization, not all organizations are like that, but my organization, we don't play about that. But PTO, that's another thing that's coming with my value. Like, do I want somebody who ain't gonna give me no PTO or sick time? Do I want to work at an organization like that? I know I need time off. I got kids or whatever. Like it's kind of that research thing that I was talking about. So I don't think they would be hired.
Having a lot of jobs in a short period of time.
I'm gonna hire them, but I'm gonna tell y'all a lot of people don't move like me. A lot of people look at that like a red flag, like you are not stable, you are a job hopper. But I know life happens.
What are some Lord, God damn it. All right, so job hoppers, like what's some reasonings that you can think of that would be acceptable for somebody to have a large number of jobs over a short period of time? Does it have to do with changing career fields? Maybe they tried nursing and they wanted to go into the service industry. They wanted to go into the manufacturing industry.
Yeah.
Or is that also looked at as a red flag? Like, we're not hiring.
Yeah. A lot of people take the human out of human resources. So people are people, right? You might go get a job and your spouse gets sick and now you need to be off for 3 months, or your mom gets sick, and so. And sometimes it's just asking, like, what happened here? You know, you only worked here for a month. What happened? You know, some people either gonna bullshit their way through the question or they gonna answer authentically. You know, I had to drop out. You know, I had to take care of my mom. I didn't have childcare. Life happens.
What if it's just not a good fit?
Or it's just not a good fit, and that's okay too.
Okay.
I think that's okay. But again, that's me. So I like to put the human and connections and interviews and stuff, like, because I'm dealing with a real person, got real bills, real life, real scenarios, and so. But not everybody moves like that.
I feel like, you know, a lot of times how the employer moves or you know, how the employer moves with the employee is not equivalent to the amount of grace that they give them. Like, you know, oftentimes they'll hire somebody and let them go in a month. Like, hey, it's not working out. And it's just what it is.
Yeah.
But when the roles are reversed and the employee or the candidate is like, hey, listen, I finished my training. I gave y'all 2 more weeks. The culture is not for me. It's not working out.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's frowned upon.
Yeah.
And it's like,
that is very sad. It is very unfortunate. And I think, like, in this generation, it's just people are not staying on jobs for 30, 40 years. Like, we don't have pensions no more. We don't have all the benefits that our parents had. You're just not giving a job that no more. So, you know.
What about refusing a drug test? I know now, like, where we are subjectively to where y'all are watching us from. it could be, depending on where you are. Where we are currently, it is legal. So I know a lot of times recently I've been looking over, postings from different companies, and they aren't testing for marijuana, but
Yeah.
are still drug testing. So if somebody does choose to refuse a drug test,
Yeah.
how does it, what? Is that a
Sometimes
red
as HR
flag?
professionals, our hands be tied with just black and white policy, right? So as much as I like you and I want to hire you and you smoked a month ago and you're trying to get clean, you want to get, my policy says I can't hire you. And that, so sometimes it's like as much as somebody wants to give grace or hire, we got to go. Sometimes we just got to move with what the policies say. But me personally, like if it was my organization, and as long as somebody's honest, like I'm a fail. I'm gonna feel the weeds as I smoke. Like, okay.
Okay. So what about how they review their previous employer? Let's say, for instance, you ask them about where they're coming from, and they say, my last job was toxic, or what have you. They don't really go into too much details.
Yeah.
They gonna get hired or fired.
They
off of
hire.
that.
Yeah, hire. Now, if you bad mouthing an employee, like real bad,
Okay.
then it's like a pause.
Okay.
Kind of red flag. But if you're just the culture wasn't for me, it wasn't a good fit. It was kind of toxic, and I'm looking for something positive. Then I love that. I love that you know what you want, and I love that you know your value.
So what about these bigger organizations, right? Like billion-dollar companies that have policies, but they're not enforcing them. For example, right? I worked at Walmart. Before. They have a point system, right? No matter what.
I used to work at Walmart.
5 points you out.
Yes.
So there's one kid, he was coming in every day. His off days, whatever. He checked his thing, he had 11 points. Now my guess is he had 11 points because he would come in late. So that's like half a point.
Yeah.
But as long as he was there, nobody was saying
Tripping
nothing,
about
right?
it. Yeah.
As soon as he was like, man, I'm about to stop coming in on these extra days or whatever, I'm about to, start chilling for a minute. As soon as he decided to do that, fire. Right? Me, I think I had like 4.5. And just chalked it up as you got 5. You know what I'm saying?
That's unfortunate.
What would you say? Because it seems like just because somebody has been working somewhere for a long time, they hire them. I mean, they promote them. Right? When they may not really have leadership skills, they may be great at their previous jobs, right? The ins and outs, whatever it may be, but they're not necessarily a leader. What would you say to that? Like,
So you're asking, like, if somebody's not, like, they want a promotion, they want more money, but they're not necessarily manager material, how they can get a promotion?
or who's promoting these people in general? And why?
Yeah, I think it depends on the company. A lot of times is your internal network. So if you're a superstar at work and everybody love you, you probably gonna get a promotion. You probably gonna get a raise. And that's unfortunate because you miss out on a lot of people who do have skills and talents that are missed out on. I think you want to work for an organization that has clear career pathways. And so not everybody wants to be a manager. And being a manager is super hard. Not everybody want to do that, but they want more money. And so like if you have a career pathway, like you could be a project manager, but you're not managing people, or you could be a senior associate, but you're not managing people. It still gives people opportunity to be promoted and make more money without the people management component. But again, that goes to a well-structured organization that has like job families and clear career pathways. And that goes back to doing your research and asking those type of questions. If you know you want to say like Walmart might be it for me, then in the interview, ask them what growth looks like. What does success, what does promotions look like?
I feel like that's something I always have asked employers. I feel like basically like, I don't really want to work for a company that doesn't have a strong employee training department, like a training program for the staff.
Yeah.
Just oftentimes the employers who don't have high expectations for the staff and don't have the training programs to even substantiate what their expectations are.
Yeah.
So it's like,
But you need a job. You know what I'm saying? Some people are
but
just
you
in that
gotta,
predicament, but you gotta work.
You gotta work.
Yeah.
And you need the
Yeah.
job. So it's just like, I always try to just make sure that I'm working for a company that has a good training program,
Investment in
so that
employees.
you
Yeah.
can better meet those expectations.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, as somebody who has a business, right? Where are you at as far as the foundation and structure of your business? Because, like, as far as me, like, I'm not trying to be in corporate America, right? And a lot of these things that your job may offer, right? Health insurance,
Health benefits, yeah.
401k, things of that nature. A lot of people don't know that if you structure your business properly, you can potentially do all these things for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as far as your business and building that structure, where are you at with it?
Yeah, a couple years ago, before I got into leadership, I kind of focused more on my business and structure and foundations. Right now, I'm not gonna say it's a hobby. It's not a hobby. Like, my business is still my business, and people still come to me for resumes and stuff. But I'm so like I'm so busy with just my day to day at work that I don't have a lot of time to put into and I want to change that because my employer can let me go tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So it is something that I want to focus on and start looking into, like, my business. What does it look like for tax breaks for when you're thinking about health insurance and when you're thinking about foundation and structure? Like, right now, my business is just my website, and, people can send me, I got my business email, I got my business phone, people can send me emails and things like that, but I don't have a strong foundation right now.
I got a few questions. I want to ask you, our listeners have some questions, and then I have a few questions of my own. But they wanted to know, should they be transparent about the salary expectations they have, or should they, I don't want to say lie, but should they tweak it to what the company is offering?
I think you should never throw a number out there in an interview. I think that you should understand what their budget is. And so if you're in an interview and you want to ask that question, what do you have? Or if they ask you, what are you expecting for? What are you hoping to be paid? What do you have budgeted for this position? Because you don't want to undersell yourself and you don't want to overshoot the playing field either. Go in doing your research. And so you can look on PayScale, you can look on Glassdoor, you can look at salary.com to see what you should be paid within that industry. Even Indeed has a tool, I think, for employees too.
They do. Yeah.
So you should know. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, do your research and know, like,
y'all
y'all like $5 short. Okay. But never give them a number. I think you should ask them what they have budgeted, and then you're like, oh, shoot, that's $3 more than what I was on. So now you can go higher.
Okay. Is it a red flag if somebody, this is a question I have. Why do employers ask, when can you start? What they want you to start tomorrow, right now? And why y'all need somebody to start so expeditiously?
Because sometimes, they probably just it depends. They probably just let go of 20 people and they short and they need,
But it's a lack of professionalism.
It is.
If they want you to start within the 7-day period, and obviously, as a professional, you're supposed to give a 2-week notice to your last employer.
Exactly.
You don't want me to have an employment gap. It's just so many. It's like, are y'all trying to trick me?
Yeah.
What? I can't have no gap in my employment.
Yeah.
Y'all want me to start tonight.
Like, no.
Like, what?
No, I think people, when an employer asks you that, I would like to do the respectful thing and give my job a 2-week notice so I can start within 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Any employer that's again, it kind of goes. And so a lot of times you're in this crunch because you're like, I need a job, or this job is paying more. I really want it. I don't know what to do. I'm kind of lose. But any employer that values you and respects that, they would want that for them. Like, if you were leaving them, they would want you to give them 2 weeks so they can, post a job or whatever. So.
Exactly. but they never do.
If you give a 2 week notice, you gone tomorrow. They're gonna get one more day of work out.
Then they're like, you can go.
And
You can go.
And
Yeah.
even if they don't let you go after you put your 2 weeks notice in, it's like, okay, well, they the new employer, they ask you, hey, when can you start? Maybe they are behind the bullet. Maybe they just have a influx of opening positions, and they need somebody to start sooner than 2 or 3 weeks. And it's like they'll just move on to the next candidate if you're not available to. Is like, how can you win? I want to be professional, give my 2 weeks to my previous employer, but at the same time, you guys don't have the luxury to wait on me.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you handle a situation like that, even if it is a quality employer, or the pay is competitive?
Yeah, that sucks. It's like I think you just have to use discernment in those type of situations. Are you leaving a job that's somewhat okay because you think the grass greener? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it the $2 that they paying you more? Is it really worth it? If they acting and moving like this, should I just stay where I'm at? Because I would say never burn bridges with your employer, because you never know.
Yeah.
I may be at this organization today and somewhere tomorrow, and I remember you didn't put in a 2 week notice, or you quit and you was crazy. No, we can't hire you. So you never want to burn. I would strongly advise against like burning bridges, and just use discernment. Like, if it's like, I really don't care about this job, I I want to go, it's toxic, and okay, I'm gonna just tell my job I can't do the 2 weeks. So use your discernment and your morals. What did you do at Myers?
They gave me the job. She called back the next day. She's like, you don't know hires, right? I can't.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we had a viewer that wanted to know, why did HR ghost me after 3 interviews? So we was just talking about that. Send them to the next round. We don't know. See if they're going to come in late. Like, so why do employers do that? Like, why would they have you go through so much
and then not
of the interview process just to not have you move forward?
Yeah, it sucks. And it's just people not having well thought out talent acquisition policies, practices. People don't know what the hell they want. They might have wanted you 2 weeks ago, and then the hiring manager was like, actually, we're going to hire somebody internal. And they just like, I don't want to reach out to her because I just had her interviewed 3 times. And it sucks, because at the end of the day, like I said, we need to put the human back into human resources. You're a human. You took time out to be here. You took time out to interview. So I can't answer like why people, they foul. Like, you shouldn't want to work for an organization that does that. That's really the answer. Because everybody deserves an answer. If it's a rejection, if it's a no, not right now. Like, everybody deserves that decency.
I agree. Okay. So before we wrap up, we're going to get ready to wrap up. I want to know, do you have one piece of advice you would give to our viewers? Just as far as like something that they can walk away with to take their job search to the next level. I know you do a lot, even outside of HR. I told y'all the hiring hero in the building. So you also on the side do resume optimization, really helping people really zone in and really tailor their resumes to whatever job it is that they desire. Aside from hiring you for resume optimization, what is something that they can do on their own without going through a company?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you should invest in, I have a couple things. So one, job searching is a job. Invest in a journal or a notebook, or even on your phone. Like Apple, it got the notepad. Literally jot down every single job you apply to. Make a note of it. I applied to Amazon 11/29. I applied to GM on 12/1. Like, have a record of all the jobs that you applied to, because in this market, you can't just post and pray that somebody gonna call you back. You gotta post, and then you gotta go get a LinkedIn profile.
I was just gonna ask you, how important is a LinkedIn?
Oh, very important.
In a world where there is I feel like
A million
100
people.
apps. Not even just a million, like a million people as far as competition, but it feels like there is always something new, like a new app for social media. Now it's like the LinkedIn. Do you got your Zip? Do you got your Indy? Do you got your Facebook? Do you got your
everything
Twitter?
updated?
You got your Instagram?
Yeah.
And or do they all they
Yeah.
all connected? It's like,
Yeah.
come on, like
Yeah,
I'm
I think
just
LinkedIn is, I call it the professional Facebook. So what happens is if I know I applied to Amazon, GM, Chrysler, and I don't know, CVS last week or a month ago, let's say 2 weeks ago, and none of them call me back, that's because they got 600 applications or 700, 800 applications. Like, I'm not lying when I say this market is wild. And it's even worse with corporate. Like, I work in nonprofit. So
Right.
nonprofit, we're not really
Yeah.
paying a lot, but corporate, if the money is good, you have a lot of people on the market that's been laid off from tech companies, Google. Like, people have been laid off. It's a lot of people competing for the same job. LinkedIn is giving you your leverage where I know Alicia is the hiring manager at GM. I see her. She has that she does hiring. She posts job. I'm
I've
hopping
never
Alicia.
been on a LinkedIn.
I'm
I've
hopping
never
Alicia inbox.
been- What?
Yes.
So hold on, LinkedIn. I just learned me something. LinkedIn. What? It's a premium.
So it is premium. It is
I
premium.
gotta pay for
but
LinkedIn?
No, you don't. They have a free option, but premium is when you want to inbox somebody. You have to pay for their subscription. However, James, if
This
you got
is
the
crazy
free,
work.
if you have the free profile, I know Alicia, the manager. Now you was calling to check on your application. You kept getting a gatekeeper who kept saying, "Oh, they'll give you a call back." Now you know Alicia, the hiring manager.
Now
Hi, can I speak to Alicia? Oh,
This
who's
is-
calling? This is her colleague.
Listen,
you know what I'm
this
saying?
is
And they gonna get you through to Alicia.
gems
You gotta be
today,
you gotta be
Alicia.
creative in this
What?
market. You got to be creative. You have to be consistent because posting and praying is not.
So you gotta stalk
You gotta start.
the hiring team at whatever company you're trying to get into.
Yeah, because it's not personal, y'all. We got 1,000 applications. We can't humanly go through it. It's not personal. It's all.
My mind is blown because I've never been on LinkedIn. Like,
Track your vehicle. Look, she did
period.
I got a time and purpose. As soon as she come out,
I gotta be on her.
I gotta send a carrier pigeon.
Yep.
Because if I approach her, she gonna feel threatened. So I
Yep.
gotta send a carrier pigeon to meet her at the vehicle.
With my
I'm not
resume.
tracking nobody vehicle.
Oh
But
my
no, seriously, y'all.
goodness.
Like, LinkedIn is a game changer. I even think about when I was doing job development
I got a
for
quick-
my, for my participants. I would hop in people inbox like, hey, such and such looking for a job. I heard y'all felony friendly or whatever. And I would get invited to come in, and where I was getting a stop when I was calling because we had the gatekeepers.
So with the LinkedIn, like you say, it's like social media. Okay, you said, hey, you got a LinkedIn, and over the last 4 weeks, you've applied to Chrysler, Ford, and then Amazon. Like, how in the world can somebody optimize a profile for all of these different industries and still make it make sense? It's just like people. If somebody had a specific field, career field, they wouldn't be looking for employment probably.
Yeah.
They would just be transitioning
Yeah.
from one employer
Yeah.
to the next. So the fact that they're actively looking for gainful employment, it's like, and everything needs to correlate. How do you First of all, how is one transitioning from one field to the next, from one industry to the next, and how am I making all of my soft skills and all of my skills even relevant to maximize my options?
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough. It is tough. It's a job when in and of itself. It really is. But I think the biggest thing is, like I said, posting and praying is not good. You got to utilize your network. You have to utilize your network. Even if it's not Alicia, the hiring manager, it's Shay. I know she work in the stocking department, so I'm about to find Shay and say, hey, girl, I know you don't know me, but I've really been applying for Amazon, and I cannot get in. Do you know the manager? Would you be willing to, sometimes it's
It
just
seems
gonna
so creepy,
it seems
but
creepy, but This market
Like
from
what?
HR perspective, I'm telling y'all, we
It
cannot
works.
humanly go through all of the applications that we're getting. And it's not personal. It's not like, oh, these jobs not. It's literally because there's so many people on the market applying
Y'all
to one
hear
or two
that?
jobs.
Stalk.
Stalk.
Stalk the HR
Don't do what James
department.
said and follow up and be meeting somebody
But
in the
y'all
parking
gonna
lot.
have to be on the internet stalking these people, okay? Stalk the HR department. That means find out what departments they have. If they got a front, they got a stocking, they got
See who worked there.
shipping and receiving.
Yeah.
You got to start dropping names.
Yeah.
Y'all got to start like this is.
Oh no, don't do that.
Right in the snow.
Don't do that.
Okay, I need work.
Don't do that.
Okay, so yeah, that is.
But yeah,
just,
you asked me two questions, like what advice would I give? I would say yes, get a LinkedIn profile, do your research, know your value, know who you are, know what you bring to the table. Very, very, very important when you're going out on a job search. Two, when it comes to compensation, learn how to leverage your resume in a way that and when I say make because oftentimes resume writers are going to say make your resume make sense because you want to even get the interview, but sometimes it's compensation wise too. So for instance, my job, our compensation philosophy is based off tenure and title. So we look at all your past experiences and see what is a similar role that you did that's similar to the role that you're applying for, how many years of experience, and that determines what we pay you within our range.
Okay.
So if your resume not making sense or you're not capitalizing off the job that you're going for, you might get the lesser end of the stick when it comes to compensation when there's a range. So when I say make your resume make sense, like make your resume make sense, not just to get the interview, but even for compensation and what you're being paid.
Okay. So basically, if you fall into you fall into a certain category, you got over 5 years of experience, X, Y, Z, you should be asking for a certain amount of money, and they're expecting you to ask for that amount of money based on the tenure.
But if your resume don't say that,
but if it's not, if it's not reflecting,
if your resume just say you got 1 year of experience, and I'm gonna pay you for 1 year of experience because you're not showing that you have the 10 years.
Got it. Okay. All right. You got any more questions, James? You had some good questions today.
If your man said, I want to quit my job, be a hand model.
Oh no! Here we go back to this hand model thing. No, you cannot quit your job.
I don't care if my man want to quit his job and be a hand model. I'm gonna support him. I don't care if he want to quit his job and scoop ice cream.
You better take them pictures on the side.
I'm gonna support him.
No, I can't.
Golly.
No, I can't.
See, that's what we got. We got to stand behind our black man.
I'm gonna stand beside you and behind you, but
black
do
man,
that
we love
while you
you.
off. Do that while you off. Take pictures of your hands, but go clock in, baby.
Listen, he might be the next Vogue hand model. Secure a contract for who knows? We don't know. Like, I'm not here to try to stop nobody dream. If like whatever it is that somebody want to do, I feel like it's possible with the right level of support, with the right level of love and encouragement. And that's just for real, especially if this is somebody that you're already with, that you're already dating. If this is like you asking if your man, this already your man, you already love him, you already invested time into him, money, energy, effort. It's just women's love don't come with conditions. Shallow people's love come with conditions.
I mean, no, it's not mortgage. I'm willing, if you want to get a part-time job and take pictures of your hands because that's really your passion, I support it. But there's still bills. You can't just do that and we have no money coming in.
No, really.
I'll take the mortgage. You go. I'm gonna take your picture, and we gonna try to figure it out. And I'll support you, but it's unfortunate. But I mean,
No, realistically, if your man was like, I'm about to start gig working, like Amazon Flex or Spark or something.
DoorDash, Instacart. Okay, I'm like, is we talking about? Or what's the other ones? Ubers, Lyft. That's gig work.
Like I do flex from time to time. Like if you stack your day, you can make like 180 in a day.
yeah.
On the low end, like 100.
Yeah.
So if your man was like, I want more flexibility, I'm gonna do one of these gig things full time, and whoopty whoopty whoop. How would you feel about that?
As long as we have a conversation about it and you got
A
provision and you
strategy
got a
and
strategy, then I'm good. And we got benefits. Like I could, okay, babe, I could pick up the benefits at my job to cover the kids. Go do what you do. You got your strategy at play. I'm all for it.
What
Like,
about that? How about flexibility? How do you feel about jobs and having work life flexibility? Is that something that you value?
absolutely. I think me, especially coming from somebody who is always at work and like leading compensation and talent is no easy feat. Yeah, absolutely. Work life balance is extremely important. Nobody should burn out. You know, that's something that I even tell myself, like, okay, and I work from home. So get away from the computer. You did your day. You know, work life balance is extremely important. So I do value that.
have you
Nobody, yeah.
have y'all heard about that? Have y'all heard about the about how Japan approached burnout? Have y'all read any articles about that? Well, apparently Japan approached burnout completely different than Americans. Like they treat it like a temporary illness. Yes, and they have like very specific steps to correct
The
work
burnout.
burnout.
That's
Yes.
amazing. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a thing though. Like people do be burning out, you know?
I was looking at the steps and I like it. Like
Yeah.
I almost want to do like a social experiment just to like try it out. It was so interesting. Yeah, I gotta check it out. But yeah, they was saying like they approach it like
That's very important.
it's almost like
Yeah.
a mental illness, like depression, clinical depression, or you know what I mean. Like they approach it so strategic,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they don't even come. They like it's not categorized along with laziness.
It's
Like
categorized as
in
this is a mental illness.
like
Yeah.
they're going through something and
Yeah.
they need
They
to
need
it needed to
space.
be addressed mentally to correct it. And it's just so interesting.
Well,
you guys have to check that out.
Yeah, I think also another to piggyback off of that is, although we don't have anything like that in the United States, you do have FMLA. So if y'all get a therapist and y'all can get some
and it's unfortunate
documentation,
that, but you need
you gotta
a
go
certain
through-
amount of time.
Yeah, you do
You
have
gotta
to work a
and
certain amount of time.
If the economy is having a hard time remaining gainfully employed for an extended period of time,
Yeah.
the people who are going through mental illnesses or
Yeah.
you know what I mean, they aren't getting the protection that they need
Yeah,
because the FMLA don't kick in
until
until
a certain
you.
amount of hours.
So
Yep.
it's just
Yeah.
crazy. It's like that should be
Yeah.
automatic. If you need FMLA, why do I have to suffer in silence for 12
For
months?
12 more months. Yeah,
You
so
know,
I can be
it's
protected.
so ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like if you can withstand the suffering, then we'll go ahead and give you the
Yeah.
FMLA. It's ridiculous.
It is.
What
Yeah.
about when you put your vacation in months in advance and they still deny it? That's another reason why I don't want to work a job.
Corporate.
It's like,
The flexibility of you can take time off when you want.
it's just
Yeah.
with a grown person asking another grown person.
Can I have this day off?
I feel like that honestly, if I'm keeping it a buck, I feel like that come along with just managing your own life as far as like how well you manage your PTO, how well you manage your sick time. Like I feel like, yes, sometimes people do need to request time off, but that's why people, like people ask, what does the PTO look like? Or, you know what I mean? Like, what's the process of, getting PTO? Do I have to go through an approval process?
That goes back to the research thing.
The research thing, because it's like, I don't feel like unless it's an emergency, I just don't feel like you should need to request time off.
Yeah.
Is that crazy?
It's not
Like,
crazy.
I just feel like if the job is, I feel like if you need time off, a lot of times it's because the job isn't as enjoyable or it's not as healthy of a workplace as it should be. Like maybe you've already exhausted all your PTO because you had to take a mental health days for the
Right.
last 3 months or whatever. Like, it's just like, it just don't seem like you'll need to request time off if they offer PTO, sick time, etc. If you have good management over if it's not an emergency too, and
Time to spend on that. Some people work so much they don't even have time to spend on that.
that don't sound like
That don't sound right.
a good work, a healthy workplace.
A healthy work-life balance.
It don't sound like a healthy work-life balance.
And those are the
Like,
questions that you like in this market. Like I said, it's tight. Like people are just like, I need a job. That's what you're talking about, Alicia. I'm about to take whatever, but it kind of goes back to asking those questions like, what is your PTO policy? I know I'm an employee. I like to take trips 2 times a year. Like, how does your company think about that? How do you feel about that? Like, knowing what your non-negotiable. It's like dating. Interviewing is like dating. You should ask those questions.
yeah, I agree. I'm real picky. A real picky dater. All right. So that's all the questions I really got. You really dropped some gems on the career advice.
Yeah.
Like, it really took the Hiring Hero title seriously, okay? Because those was just like really great. Like, yes, y'all really really, tune in, optimize the resumes, and really work on the LinkedIn. Like Alicia gave us some amazing tips today. I hope y'all was taking notes. And yeah, we want to thank her for coming out and talking with us and giving us some insight on the HR industry and what employers are looking for today.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for kicking it with us. Thank you for kicking it with us.
Yes, if you need a resume, you can email me at astokes at the employment coach. I'm sorry, astokes at the employmentcoach.org. If you are returning home from incarceration or you know somebody who's returning home from incarceration, look up ceoworks.org. You must be on parole or probation to be enrolled into the program. We have offices in Detroit and Pontiac, but ceoworks.org for the reentry programming, and then resumes, Stokes at theemploymentcoach.org.
I just love that so much. I did not know that she was employment coach for reentry citizens. I think that is just so beautiful. I can't get over it. Yeah, it's a soft spot in my heart,
does.
y'all. It really does.
Yeah.
I love it. But
They be telling people who at least like you can't work with other felons. But I can't help that this nigga.
listen,
Yeah, that goes back to the obstacles and
I'm
barriers.
just happy that that they have that is they're getting more resources. It's so difficult just for them, it's so difficult for them to just get their foot on the ground and just get a toe in the dough. Golly,
And the great thing about CEO, too, I forgot to drop this, is they offer transitional employment. So that means you'll be paid daily while you're working to get your life together. So you'll get a check at the end of each shift. And then you'll have a job developer working to get you full-time employment in the community.
What? Yeah. Listen, y'all tap in. If y'all got an uncle, a aunt, a cousin, a brother, a sister,
a friend, a boyfriend,
friend,
girlfriend,
a baby daddy, a baby mama. This is y'all want to tap in with Alicia. Y'all don't want to miss out on the resources that she have for the community. She is really making waves and making a difference. So don't take it for granted. Take advantage of the resources and the knowledge that she has. And yeah, if you have somebody that is looking to get on their feet after reentry, this is the person you want to talk to. So we thank y'all for tuning in with us today. Like, share, subscribe, and we will see y'all next week.